Guys, in today's session, we are going to discuss about record producers. Okay, record producers are used to submit the records on tables, to submit the records on tables. So usually to submit the records on tables, we'll use forms. To submit the records on tables, we'll use forms, right? So here in this case, we will use catalog form to submit the records. So that means if I want to create an incident record, then what I will do, I usually open the incident form. And I'll create an incident record. But here, we will not use incident form here. We will use catalog form, record producer catalog form. So in other words, we will say we will use record producer form to create a record on the incident table. Okay. So to create a record on the table, we will use record producers. If you take a look at here, whiteboards. So in the table, in how many ways we can create a record? Record producer is actually one of the way to create the record or not. So Excel sheet is actually one of the way to create the record. Form is actually one of the way to create a record. Script is actually one of the way to create a record. Email is actually one of the way to create a record. Record producer is actually one of the way to create a record. External system is actually one of the way to create a record. So record producers are used to create the records on the table. Okay. So first of all, once the personal developer instance is ready, we'll create one record producer. Okay. So usually to create an incident record, what we will do, we will open the incident form. So in the form, we will fill the field values and we will create a record. Okay. So here, instead of using this form, we can also use record producer form to create the record on the incident table. So what I'm doing is I'm going to create record producer. Create incident record. Here, guys, here in the application navigator, you have to go to record, you have to type record producer. Under service catalog, you will find record producers. Open the record producers. I am creating a new record producer. So here I am selecting record producer table as incident table. Selecting the table name as incident table. Okay. Create incident record. So let me create a record producer here. In the record producer, so you all know what is variables, what is variable set, what is catalog view policies, what is catalog line script, what is available for, not available for, categories, catalogs, catalog lookup definitions, related articles, related catalog items. So we have discussed about all these things. So do you remember all of these things, guys? Do you remember all of these things? Okay. So here I am actually creating variables here. I am creating variables here. I am creating a variable called caller. Reference field, caller field, okay, which is referencing user table. Okay, which is referencing user table. So here, the record producer variable, you can see extra field called map to field. So here I am mapping this field with the incident caller field. So here I am selecting, I am mapping this caller variable with the incident caller field. Okay. So I am mapping this caller field I'm mapping this caller field with the incident caller field. Okay. Just make it mandatory here. Caller field. And this one is also a reference field. Configuration item. Where I am referencing CMDB underscore CA. Okay, this one is also a mandatory field. Okay, I have to map this field with the incident configuration item field. Check map to field checkbox. Here I am actually mapping with the incident configuration item field. Okay. I'm creating more variables, short description and description. And this one, I'm making it as short description. I'm mapping with the incident short description here. This one is also a mandatory one. Now I am actually mapping with the I'm actually creating a description variable. I will map the description variable with the incident description. Okay. This one is also a mandatory one. Map with the description field. Order 400. Okay. So what I have done, I have created a record producer. I have created a record producer wherein I have selected a table called incident table. I have selected a table called incident table. So after creating a record producer, I created variables like color variable, configuration item, short description, description variables I created. I mapped these variables with the incident fields. This color I mapped with the incident color. This configuration item I mapped with the incident configuration item. This short description I mapped with the incident short description. This description I mapped with the incident description. Okay. So after mapping it, you can just click on try it here. You can just click on try it here. The record producer look like this one. Okay. The record producer look like this one. Okay. Once you submit this catalog form, it will directly create a incident record. You can see the caller is Abraham Lincoln. The configuration that we selected, configuration item that we selected, and short description that we wrote, and description that we wrote. So here, what is happening? Instead of using the form, we are using record producer form to create the record on a table. Instead of using normal form, we are using record producer form to create a record on a table. Okay. So not only incident, guys, if you want to create a problem from the record producer, if you want to create a problem, you will select a problem here. You will select a problem here. So if you want to create a change request, you will select a change request here. So on any table, you can create a record, guys, from the record producer. So let us say if you want to create a user record, you can select user table here. On any table, you can create a record once the record producer form is submitted. Okay. So whenever you submit the record producer form, it has created the incident record. Okay. So let me just go here. Category, I'm actually assigning service catalog here. Okay. Category, I am assigning here as services. Okay. So you will see this in a you will see this in a service portal. Okay. Okay. Just click on request something. Under service catalog, under services category, create incident record. So you will see the record producer something like this one. You can use this record producer form to create an incident record. Okay. So you have incident form to create the record, right? Why do we need this record producer form? Okay. Remember this point, guys. You have incident form. You can directly go to the incident form and you can open the incident form and you can create a record, right? Though instead of using incident form, why are we using this record producer form to create a record? So why are we using this record producer form to create a record? Remember this point, guys. If you want to open the incident form, if you want to open the incident form, okay, you should have permissions. You should have access control permission. But when it comes to the record producer, you don't have to satisfy the access controls. Okay. So when it comes to the record producer, you don't have to have the access controls. Access controls are only for forms. So there is no access control for record producer. Everybody can use this record producer form and they can create the record on the tables. Okay. So instead of using forms, you will go to the record producer form to create a record when you are actually when you want to grant access to everyone irrespective of ACLs. Okay. So what I meant to say here is if you want to create a record using form, you need to satisfy the ACLs, access control list. Okay. So if you use record producer form, you even though you don't have access to create a record on uh, uh, incident table, using record producer, you can create a record. Okay. You can use record producer. Record producer will not check if you have permission or not. Okay. Record producers will not check the permissions if you have access controls or granting permissions or not. Okay, that is why we'll go for record producers to create a record. Understand, guys? Why do we go for record producer form instead of using a normal table form? Okay. So here in the record producer, you can also write the scripting, guys. Okay. You can also write the scripting in the record producer. So how do you write the scripting in the record producer? So primarily in the record producer, you have two objects available. Primarily in the record producer, you have two objects available. So one is actually current object. So the record producers, the main objective is, so irrespective of access controls, if you want to grant permission to everyone in the organization, then you will go for record producers. Okay. So if you use table forms, what happens? You have to satisfy the access controls, right? But when it comes to the record producers won't check access controls. Okay, fine. So, well, in the record producer, you can write a scripting here. So in the record producer, primarily you have two objects here. One is current object. Current object refers to the table that you selected here. You have selected a table, right? Current object refers to the table that you selected here. Okay. And there is another object called producer object. The producer object refers to variables that we have created here. Variables that we have created here, guys. Okay. The variable names also same. So here what I'm doing is I'm actually here we have done the field mapping here, right? We have done the field mapping. So what I'm trying to tell you is we can also do the field mapping using script as well. We can also do the field mapping using script as well. Okay. So current dot caller ID is equal to current dot caller ID is equal to producer dot caller ID. So here you can do the field mapping something like this using script, guys. Okay. Current dot short description. Okay. Producer dot description. So you can do the field mapping something like this one. In the record producer, these two objects are very important, guys. One is current object. Current object refers to the table that we selected here. Suppose we have selected incident table. So incident table, current object refers to incident table. Suppose you selected problem table. Current object refers to problem table. Suppose you selected change request table. So the current object refers to change request table. When it comes to the producer object means producer object will have access to all the record producer variables. Okay, object will have access to all the record producer variables. So record producer variable values you can access using producer dot variable name. Suppose, guys, you have actually done the field mapping here and you have also done the field mapping here. So let us take, you have done the field mapping here. Okay, caller ID. Okay, and I have done the field mapping here as well. So in this field mapping, what I have done is I haven't used producer dot caller ID. I have just used the gs dot get user ID. This is current logged in user system ID. So here, which one will be taken? So here I have done the field mapping. So here I have done the field mapping here. And I have also done the field mapping using scripting. Which one will be executed finally? So answer me, guys, which one will be executed? First of all, this field mapping will be this field map will be executed, and finally this one will be executed. Script will be executed last. Script will be executed last. Okay. So when you have it, when you have done the field mapping, when you have done the field mapping uh, using field map, using map to field, as well as you have done field mapping using script also. So which one will be the final output? So this one will be the final. Script will be the final, guys. Okay. If I try to submit this record producer form, okay, in the caller field, I am selecting able tutor here. In the caller field, I am selecting able tutor. Okay. I'm selecting the configuration item. And submit this one. Here it should come as current logged in user, gs.get user ID. Did I save this one? I did not save this one. So I have selected able tutor here, right? I have selected able tutor here. So in the caller field, okay, in the caller field, able tutor name should appear. But here, system administrator name is coming. System administrator is the current logged in user here. System administrator is the current logged in user here. So when we are in the record producer form, in the caller field, we have selected able tutor, but here in the caller field, it is showing as system administrator. That is because we have done the field mapping. We have done the field mapping here. And after this field map, script is getting executed. That is why current logged in user system administrator name is populated in the caller field. Hope you understand, guys. Hmm? Hope you understand. No, no, script will not be executed first. Field map will be executed first and script will execute in the last. Field map will execute first. Okay, script will execute last. Okay, script will be executed last. Okay, fine. Well, here, guys, whenever you submit the record producer form, instead of one incident, I want to create two incident records. Instead of one incident record, I want to create two incident records. Hmm? So then what I have to do? Here I have to write the script. Here I have to write the script. Okay, which script I have to write? So let me answer you. If I have to create two records, if I have to create two records, what should I do is I have to use for loop here. I have to use for loop. So in the for loop, if you give length here as 2, okay, incident, gr.initialize, gr.caller ID, producer.cmdb_ci, gr.short description, okay. Will create two records using this line of script. By default, one record will be created, right? By default, one record will be created. Using this script, two records will be created. So by default, whatever the record that is creating, right? I am stopping that record creation using current dot set about action two. Okay. Current dot set about action true. So here what am I doing is, by default it is creating one record. By default it will create one incident record. Okay. And using this script you are creating two records. Total three records are created. So total three records are getting created. So what is our requirement? Once a record producer is submitted, I want to create two records. So two records means whatever the record that is creating by default, we have to stop that. Then for that I have used current dot set about action true. So current dot set about action true I have used to stop the record creation which is creating by default. So using this script, using this for loop, anyhow it will create two records, right? Isn't it, guys? So in the record producer, script, you can write any server side script. Like you can write glide record secure, glide aggregate, glide datetime, glide schedule, glide duration. You can use any server side script in the record producer script, guys. Okay. So till this point, everybody is clear or not? Hmm? So I am giving you a task, guys. I am giving you a task. Okay. So that is actually create a record producer. Create a record producer. Whenever you submit the record producer form, it has to create a user record. So select user here. Select user table. Okay. So create the variables such as user ID. Create variables such as user ID, first name, last name, email address, title. So create these variables and map these variables with the user table fields. Okay, user table fields. Whenever you submit the record producer form, it has to create a user record in the user table. Whenever you submit the record producer form, it has to create a user record in the user table. That is the task for today, guys. Okay, for record producers. The requirement is clear, right? Requirement is clear, right? Everyone. Hello. Is the requirement clear, guys? Okay. Now we will understand about now we will understand about order guides. Order guides are used to submit. Order guides are used to submit multiple catalog items under one request. Order guides are used to submit multiple catalog items under one request. Okay. So now what I am doing is I am just I am going to create an order guide. See, normally guys, you can submit only one catalog item, right? Normally you can submit only one catalog item. But if you want to submit multiple catalog items under one request, you can use order guide. Okay. Order guides are used to submit multiple catalog items under one request. I'll show you one example here. Just go to order guides. This is not an important topic, guys. Catalog items and record producers are important topic. Okay. So here, whenever let me open this particular order guide. You can just click on try it here. Okay. Hiring manager, which group is the person joining? Will this be a remote employee? No. Which office will they reporting to? Will your employee need anything non-standard? Okay. Just click on choose options here. You can see multiple catalog items. Standard laptop, standard 27 monitor, new email account, crop VPN, desk setup. Okay. So here three catalog items. These are three catalog items. Okay. You are submitting three catalog items as a one request. Okay. Then just click on next tab here. You can see here under one request you are able to submit four catalog items. Let me just click on checkout here. See, under request you are able to submit remote access to internal corporate systems, desk setup for new hires or employee moves, and this one and new email account creation. So under this request, four requested items are created. That means four catalog items are submitted. Four catalog items are submitted, not four, total five. So five catalog items are submitted in total. Okay. Total 5 catalog items are submitted in total, guys. Normally, you can submit one catalog at a time. If you want to submit multiple catalog items at a time, you can use a record producer. Okay. So let me just create one record producer so that you will be able to understand better. Sorry, not record producer, order guide. Software installation. So guys, when you join in the organization, you will be provided a laptop. In that laptop, you will have to get the multiple software installed. So you will have to install Citrix. You will have to install some other softwares around. Let us say you have to get installed laptop. You have to get the software installed around 4 or 5 softwares. Okay. What am I doing is just I'm adding it under service catalog under software section. Okay. So well here you know what is variable set and all. You don't know what is rule base. So rule base is actually rule base is what you need to understand in the in the order guide. In the order guide, only extra thing that you can see is rule base. So only thing you have to focus here is rule base, guys, in the order guides. Rest of them are common. Okay. So rest of them are common. So now what I'm doing is I'm actually creating one variable requester. Okay. So here you have to select the catalog item. You have to select the catalog item. Standard laptop. So the ones which we are actually creating in the rule base, these are catalog items, guys. Remember, these are catalog items. See, these are catalog items. Okay. So let me just click on try it here. I'm selecting the requester name. Let us take, I'm selecting requester name as Prithviraj. I'm clicking on choose options here. Here you can see how many items we are actually submitting now. One is actually service category request, decommission local office domain control, and standard laptop. In the standard laptop, I'm selecting the location here and reboot Windows Server. Okay. So I'm clicking on checkout here. Okay. So click on checkout here. Total how many catalog items you are actually submitting? So total 1, 2, 3, 4. Remaining are not catalog items or what? Under this request, total we have actually submitted 4 catalog items. Under this request, we have submitted total 4 catalog items. So here on every workflow there will be see on every catalog item there will be workflows, right? So on this particular request item there might be a workflow attached. On this request item on this catalog item there might be a workflow attached that will be running. On this one there might be a workflow attached that will be running. So on this catalog item a workflow will be attached. Workflow might have attached already. So that will be running. So every workflow will run on the every requested item. Once all the requested items are closed, we can close this request as well. Okay, we can close this request as well. So there is a state field on the there is a state field here. We have to add it on the form. Once all the request items are closed, we can close the request as well. Okay. So using order guides, you can submit the multiple catalog items under one request. Remember that point, guys. Okay. So here these are actually order guide variables. These are actually order guide variables. If I click on try it here, if I click on try it here, this is actually order guide variable. This is order guide variable. So here what I'm doing is I'm selecting Nitin. Nikhil. Okay. So here these are catalog variables. Every catalog item we create variables, right? These are actually catalog variables. Okay. These are catalog variables. So order guide variables are different, catalog variables are different. Under this, we have submitted these 4 catalog items. Okay. Here, if you want to pass a value from order guide variable to catalog variable, So there is a cascade variables checkbox here. You have to check this checkbox. If you check this checkbox, what happens is that we can pass values from order guide variables to catalog item variables. We have order guide variables and catalog item variables, right? If you want to pass value from order guide variable to catalog item variable, you have to check this cascade variable checkbox. If you have checked the cascade variable checkbox already, and you need to make sure catalog item variable name, the order guide variable name, both should be same. Here the order guide variable name is requester, right? So in the catalog item also, there should be one more field called requester in the catalog item. Only then the value will be cascaded. Remember, you check the cascade variable checkbox, values won't pass from order guide variable to catalog item variable. This checkbox must be checked. And the second thing is, so this checkbox must be checked. Second thing is, order guide variable name, catalog item variable name should be same. Okay, I'll show I'll show you now. Let us take comments. The order guide variables, I'm creating a variable called comments. Okay. If you see here, I have checked the cascade variables checkbox. Okay. And the comments variable name in the catalog item, one variable name is comments. Now you can see here, I'm selecting the requested here, to 5678, 5678. Okay. Now you can see this value will be cascaded to, this value is cascaded to catalog item variable here, 5678. Because in the order guide, we have selected cascade variable checkbox, and then order guide variable name and this field name both are matching. Order guide variable name and this field name both are matching. So that is why this value is cascaded. Okay. That is why this value is cascaded. So likewise, guys, you can pass values from order guide variable to catalog item variables. So normally in the organizations, 99% you don't create order guides. Okay, you don't get chance to work on order guides. Majorly, you'll be working on catalog items and record producers. Okay. So remember, catalog items are used. Let me add one more comment. Okay. Catalog items are used to submit the requests. Record producers are used to submit the records on tables. The order guides are used to submit the order guides are used to submit multiple catalog items under one request. Okay. So here you can attach workflow. You can attach workflow. Here you can't attach workflow. Okay, you can't attach workflow in the order guide as well. You can attach workflow on target table. You can attach workflow on target table. Okay. So here there is no target table, right? You can attach workflow on the request table. So that is the difference between catalog items, record producers, and order guides, guys. Okay. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, one thing that is related to the workflow thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is not regarding that one. We have the different types of activities, right? In the actions, sorry, in the workflow.
Those are not actions, those are activities.
Yes, sorry, activities. In the activities, is there any number of activities need to be there? Is there any restriction like that?
Well, for workflow, there is no limit. For flow designer, there is limit. For flow designer, there is actually limit of 50.
We have created different types of activities, right? As per our session, we have sending the mail and different types of things. We are creating the records. All those things are activities, right? Yeah, is there any limitation we need to create only these number of activities?
For workflow, there is no limit. For flow designer, you can use only 50.
Okay.
For workflow, there is no limit. So I have used so many activities in the workflow. But in the flow designer, there is a limit of 50.
Okay.
So you can just go to the workflow properties. There is no limit for activities that we can add in the workflow, but for flow designer, there is limit. You can see here in the flow designer, maximum number of actions allowed in a flow. Okay. So maximum number of steps allowed in an action. So that limit is not there in the workflow. So in the workflow, you can use as many activities as you can.
Okay. Okay. This doubt is clarified for me. And another thing related to the record producer.
Just a moment.
Okay.
The workflows have maximum activity count 100. Once the workflow execute, the number of activities will be cancelled. Workflows have maximum activity count, default is 100. Once the workflow execute, this number of activities in the workflow will be cancelled. Okay. Yeah. Anil, you can go ahead.
Yeah, this one I got the clarification. And related to the record producers, that is also work on like a farm, right? That will execute all the client scripts and business rules. Everything will be executed, right? From the record producer also.
Yeah, whatever the business rules that you write, see here in this case, before business rules will work. So all the business rules will work. I mean, whatever the configurations that we made on the table will work whenever you submit the record producer form.
Okay. Okay, like that will also, I mean, behave like a farm only, but we don't have any restriction for the record producers.
Yes.
Oh, oh, thank you, Uday.
Yeah. And tomorrow and day after tomorrow will be our last session, guys. Okay. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow will be our last session. Okay. And firstly, I took so much time, guys.